Artificial intelligence could contribute up to 15.7 trillion to the global economy by the year 2030, making it one of the biggest economic opportunities available to countries and their leaders.
Welcome to Tech Pression Special, where we'll dive into the latest trends and innovations shaping the technological landscape. Today, we have the privilege of sitting down with Cyril Okoroigwe, the CEO at Regtech Africa, to explore the role of data governance and innovation on the African continent. With the upcoming Reftech African conference poised to address critical issues surrounding data governance and economic growth, we are eager to gain insights into the conference's themes, objectives, and the role it plays in driving technological innovation in Africa. It's great to have you here with us, Mr. Cyril.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine.
Can you share an overview of the Regtech Africa conference and its significance in the tech industry?
Regtech Africa Conference is the premier forum on regulatory services and innovation excellence with focus on Africa. It provides the platform for regulators, regulated policymakers, and key industry stakeholders to engage, collaborate, and share knowledge around new technologies and practices that support better regulation. The event is essentially focused on attracting top professionals with interest in regulation, digital financial services, compliance, technology fraud, risk, reporting, financial crime, cybersecurity, data management, financial inclusion, identity management, just to mention a few.
I'm curious to know about what inspired your theme for the upcoming Reftech African conference, which is harnessing partnerships for Africa's prosperity, bridging the data trust gap. What inspired it?
Bridging the data trust gap, harnessing partnership for Africa's prosperity, which is the theme, was carefully selected for this year's edition of the Reftech Africa conference. As you well know, data has become critical in achieving economic growth, increasing competition, and spurring innovation. As the world moves towards a digital economy, harmonized data governance frameworks that unlock data's economic and societal benefits are paramount. Governments, businesses, and individuals need robust data policy frameworks so they can attract the economic benefits of using and sharing data. Such frameworks should feature high data protection standards that guarantee adequate use of personal data, maintain public trust, and safeguard privacy without creating unnecessary data use and sharing barriers. So these essentially and many more were actually the things that inspired the theme of this year's conference.
How does data governance play a pivotal role in driving Africa's economic growth, especially in the context of the digital economy?
That's a very important question. Important because the drive towards the digital economy has become a critical target for most governments, especially in Africa. And Africa stands at this moment at a transformative juncture where data has the potential to drive unprecedented socio-economic advancement. So by prioritizing data governance, we can unlock new pathways to innovation, resilience, and inclusive growth across the continent. And essentially, by harnessing the power of data, the key players within the ecosystem, i.e., the regulators, for instance, can effectively monitor activities of financial institutions and detect irregularities, safeguarding measures against fraud schemes, and ensuring that fair business practices, is upheld.
Okay. Could you elaborate on the unique engagement opportunities offered at the 2024 Rechtech Africa conference? I know there are some of them like the Rechtech for Good Challenge and Women in Rechtech discussions. I would like to know more about those.
The Regtech Africa conference boasts of an expansive lineup of over 50 inspirational speakers, and over 500 industry experts from across Africa. Attendees can engage with these progressive professionals to discuss the impact and opportunities of innovative regulation on the financial industry. Real world
Okay.
use cases, cutting edge demos, and a showcase of the latest Regtech innovations offer valuable insights and networking opportunities. The conference will also delve into key tracks such as consumer protection, e commerce and cross border payments, digital and financial inclusion, anti money laundering and financial crimes, identity and KYC, fintech regulations, and AI technologies. Additionally, use cases will cover regulation, AI regulation, and subtech. There will be if there's a central focus on women in RegTech and RegTech for good, and this is because as has become the norm, the application of RegTech in a responsible manner to drive possible outcome has become very, very important at this point. So, and that is why, as part of our initiatives, as part of our core initiatives, there is a spotlight, a major spotlight on responsible application of RegTech for common good.
About the multilingual session, how do you plan to embody inclusivity?
Thank you very much. That is at the heart of this year's conference.
Yes.
Inclusivity and gender balance. Those are two focal areas because we believe that closing the gender gap in regulation and policy making and even leadership is essential. It is also
Okay.
an imperative. Yes, it's also an imperative for women's economic empowerment, enabling girls and women to make their own choices and participate fully in society. So, this is central to the track that we have, which is dedicated to women in RegTech. So, as part of our core focus for this year's conference, Africa plays a very, very large role. And as you do know, Africa is comprised of different regions, very diverse in language, in culture, legislation, and a whole lot of other factors. Right. So, what we've
Okay.
tried to do in this year's conference is to bring in every single segment, every single region within the African continent to be a part of this. And how have we been able to do that? By essentially ensuring that the different languages, the core languages, right, that we have across the different regions, north, south, east, and west, some part of Africa, are all imbibed. So we've got sessions that are dedicated in French, panel discussions in French. We've also got panel discussions that are dedicated in Arabic and as well as in English language. So this essentially would bring in all the different regions within the continent to be a part of this. So for us, we see inclusivity as a very core part of our core value. And that's what we've tried to do. In terms of diversity and inclusion, we also view it from the lens of gender. And what we have also tried to do is to ensure that in terms of the speaking participation, we have almost 50-50% participation, male, female,
Okay,
right?
I was
So
going to ask.
that brings that gives the female folks a very huge sense of belonging because we believe that closing the gender gap in regulation and policy making and even leadership is essential. It is also an
Yes, it is.
imperative for women's economic empowerment, enabling girls and women to make their own choices and participate fully in the society.
Yeah, so I think working earnestly on gender equality and inclusivity is an admirable thing. So,
Thank you.
how does the conference aim to foster cross-border partnerships and knowledge exchange among industry stakeholders?
So the conference essentially aims to foster collaboration, facilitate knowledge exchange, and explore
Hmm.
the transformative potential of RegTech, regulatory technology. It also
Okay.
provides a platform for both the public and private sector stakeholders to co-create and drive value in the ecosystem. The event connects hundreds of executives, thought leaders, and decision makers from across the globe and features extensive discussions with an array of distinguished thought leaders. So, partnerships between industry players and tech providers, in our view, will accelerate the development and deployment of cutting edge RegTech solutions that would eventually drive some of the desired outcome for national development.
Africa's economic potential for technological innovation was highlighted as an essential point for the conference. Can you discuss specific strategies aimed at leveraging this potential?
The rise of technological or digital technologies such as the Internet of Things, IoT, artificial intelligence, open banking, supervisory technology, blockchain technology, all of these stand to significantly impact trade costs and international trade. In our view, leveraging the potential of digitization, disruptive technologies, and cross-border data flows to facilitate the aspiration of a pan-African digital single market through the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement becomes highly imperative. As you do know, the AFCFTA has become a rallying point and a major talking point amongst different governments in the African continent. And this essentially gave rise to the implementation of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System (PAPS), which is beginning to um, show some traction and uptake. So we believe that regulatory technology would definitely play a crucial role in all of this mix. And that for us is very, very huge.
Yes, it is indeed. What are some key tracks and topics that will be covered at the conference, and why are they important to regulatory technology?
That's a good question if you ask me. There are a whole gamut of topics, about 10 tracks that we have for discussion at this year's conference. But I'll just pick on a few of them and speak basically to their significance, right? So the first one I want to talk about is um, AI regulation, with the topic bridging the data trust gap for innovative regulation of AI and emerging technologies. Why is this important? Artificial intelligence could contribute up to 15.7 trillion to the global economy by the year 2030, making it one of the biggest economic opportunities available to countries and their leaders. This is a recent research.
So when you say 15.73 trillion, when you say 15.7 trillion, you mean in dollars?
In dollars, 15.7
Okay.
trillion dollars.
Oh, I
This
see.
is based on the recent research, yes,
I see.
by the year 2030. So this makes it one of the biggest economic opportunities available to countries and even their leaders. The second topic or track is on SupTech, supervisory technology, with the
Okay.
topic bridging the data trust gap for SupTech in the area of digital financial services. Right? Supervisory technology has become, an emerging space for regulators, and we see this even translating into a bigger opportunity for the continent. The rapid digitization of the financial sector in Africa and globally has significantly increased the importance of digital financial services. So, therefore, the need for regulation and supervision has also become heightened. So, this is again a huge significance because of the rising or the huge increase in digitization. Regulation and supervision also has to, you know, up up their game. So, and that's where this subtech or supervisory technology becomes very, very relevant. The third topic or track of importance would be on the KYC and digital identity verification, with the topic bridging the data trust gap for know your customer KYC compliance and digital identity verification. In the ever evolving landscape of Africa's digital economy, identity verification has emerged as a pivotal pillar in driving financial inclusion and secure digital trust. As you do know, financial inclusion has become a major target point for most African countries, most regulators, most central banks. And you cannot achieve financial inclusion in the real sense of it without proper digital identity verification process. So this has made it become very imperative, and that is why it is important to talk about it. Lastly, I would want to talk about the topic on e-commerce and cross-border trade. The track e-commerce and cross-border trade with the topic bridging the data trust gap for e-commerce, remittances, and cross-border trade. Currently, the average cost of remittances to sub-Saharan African countries is about 8.9% of the value of the transaction compared to the global average of 6.8%. That is World Bank standard. So that is huge. That is
It
far above the
is.
average. Yes. So informal flows are rife, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. And the trend is increasingly and the trend is increasing in many other areas. So the relative low formal penetration, coupled with the high cost of remittances, the lack of access to required identity documentation, and the lack of trust in formal financial services are indicative of a formal market that is not functioning optimally to serve people's needs, and especially the low income people. So, for these reasons, this topic on remittances and cross border trade has become very important, and that makes it a very good candidate and talking point for this year's conference.
Interesting. Before we round up, I would like to know if there are any individuals or organizations that would like to join the event. How do they register?
Thank you very much for that question. For individuals or corporates that are looking to register, yes, there are opportunities to register online at the conference website, which is www.regtechafricaconference.com.
Okay.
regtechafricaconference.com. There
Okay.
you have full details about the conference, the different agenda topics and tracks, the speakers, the lineup of speakers, the different opportunities in terms of the value proposition, opportunity for networking, opportunity for brand positioning, opportunities for um, showcasing of your products and services, for opportunities for exhibition, and a lot more opportunities, right? So all of these details can be seen on the site regtechafrica.com. There you can register online for free.
Okay.
As,
Just
as far as
okay.
sponsorship opportunities are concerned, there are there are there are opportunities for sponsorship and partnership as well, right? And these are also available online. As a matter of fact, there are three different categories for sponsorship: the silver, the bronze, the silver, the gold, and the platinum packages. Each of these packages have got a bouquet of benefits that are associated with them, and they are all available on the conference website. So kindly check out the website rectechafrica.com. You can reach out on sponsorship opportunities. You can reach out to via email info@regtechafrica.com, and I repeat, info@regtechafrica.com.
So I was trying to make a clarification earlier when you asked for people when I asked you for people to that wanted to join. You said RegtechAfricaConference.com. Is that different from RegtechAfrica.com?
Oh yes, RegtechAfricaConference.com is the conference website.
Solely for the registration for the upcoming conference.
Yes, RegtechAfricaConference.com is the conference website with all the details relating as far as the conference is concerned.
Okay.
Details on the conference content, the agenda details, the speakers, lineup of
Okay.
speakers, the venue, everything that you need to know about the conference you find in regtechafricaconference.com. And to register as a delegate, either as an individual delegate or as a corporate delegate, right? For in-person participation or virtual participation, because the conference is a hybrid event. So it provides for both physical attendance and virtual participation. So, but for both physical participation and virtual participation, registration is available via the conference website on regtechafricaconference.com. For partnership opportunities, for sponsorship opportunities, you can reach out to us via email on info@regtechafrica.com.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cyril Okoroigwe.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much for joining us on Tech Pression Special, Mr. Cyril Okoroigwe. That'll
Thank
be
you
all
very
for
much. It's my
today.
pleasure.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Tech Pression TV. And for those of you that would like to register for the upcoming conference at Reftech Africa, there'll be a link in the description below at rechtechafricaconference.com. That's www.rechtechafricaconference.com. See you next time.